Good morning. As you know, over the last couple of months, we've been conducting interviews with all four of the candidates for mayor of Boston who will appear on the primary ballot, or the preliminary, I should say, coming up in just a couple of weeks. And we conclude that series today with the incumbent, Boston Mayor Marty Walsh, who is seeking a second term. Mayor, welcome.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks
for having me. Good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Did you ever have a hesitation about a second term?
No. I mean, no. It's my only hesitation was when I first got elected, the first couple of months, thinking, oh, my God, what did I do? Yeah. We settled in after that, and I think we have a very good record, I think, that we're going to run on, and what we've accomplished in the last 3.5 years, and I still have a lot more work to do, so I need that second term.
Well, City Councilor Tito Jackson, who's one of the three candidates, and with all due respect to the other two, probably your likely opponent in the final, was here recently, and he supported you when you ran 4 years ago, but he said that he felt like he got, quote, sold a bill of goods. He said that you're not looking out for working families. Luxury housing is going up, but not so much affordable housing. He says you have your checkbook out for corporate welfare while you're cutting education. Let's start with those two. What's your response?
It's just not true. In my time as mayor here, we launched a housing plan to create 53,000 units of new housing by the year 2030. In those, 21,000 units are built or are under construction right now. Of those, nearly 9,000 are workforce low-income housing units, and some of the other housing units are affordable. When I say affordable, they're working-class affordable. Somebody who's making, you know, anywhere between, say, $75,000 and $120,000 a year. So we've fulfilled our housing goals. We're going to continue to move forward towards it. We also changed the inclusionary development policy to get more money into affordable housing. This year we collected $57 million, and we also, for the first time in the history of Boston, the Community Preservation Act, which was voted on by the voters, they voted to support it. 2001, it went on the ballot. They voted against it. 2015, they supported it. So we're able to do a lot more into affordable housing.
How about the corporate welfare charge? You know the litany. Yeah, the Olympics thing, IndyCar, yeah, some of those people still haven't got their money back.
But I tell you, they're very different issues. I mean, when you think about the Olympics, first of all, it cost nobody paid any money for Olympics. There was zero cost there. It was something that we went for. We were chosen to host as the United States representative for the 2024 games. We know what happened. I refused to sign that document that would mortgage the future of the city away. I didn't. LA got the Olympics 2028. Good luck to LA. I wish them all the best on that. When you think about IndyCar, IndyCar was a race that we're bringing to the seaport for a 3-day car race around the seaport. People thought it was great and exciting about it. The person who was the organizer of that went bankrupt, did everything wrong, and owes some people money. Again, it cost the city zero. And then when it comes to General Electric, I don't know many people said to me, bringing General Electric, their global headquarters to Boston is a bad idea. What the city did, our incentive is up to $25 million in tax incentive for the city of Boston only. And we've already received from General Electric $25 million investment into our education system as a donation, $25 million into healthcare. So it's $50 million we've received already from GE. And plus, using GE as an opportunity to attract more companies like Amazon, by the way. We're looking to bring Amazon to our city.
Well, let me talk to you about that, because as you know, in Seattle, where Amazon has had its main headquarters, housing prices have gone through the roof, and a lot of people point the finger at, you know, Amazon. It's one of those byproducts of having tens of thousands of people making six-figure salaries. We're already expensive.
Big difference in Boston. In Boston, we have a housing plan. When Amazon came to Seattle, I'm assuming that there was no housing plan in place. So when they came in there, you saw people buying housing stock that was there, poorer people's housing stock, and buying it up. In Boston, we have a plan to create 53,000 units of new housing. We raised the inclusionary development and the Community Preservation Act. So we have a lot more money going to affordable housing and moderate income housing, as well as high-end housing. So in Boston, we're building a diversity of housing stock. So I think having that as an opportunity makes a big difference.
All right, we have to take a break. More of our conversation with Boston Mayor Marty Walsh in just a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back. We're talking with Boston Mayor Marty Walsh. And Mayor, just before we move on to other topics, you mentioned GE. Now, it's been reported recently that GE stock price is way down, and they're talking now about cuts in the headquarters, fewer employees, maybe scaling back. They've already announced a delay in their construction plans. Aren't you concerned about that?
No, I'm not. I mean, I think General Electric is a company that's gone through ebbs and flows over time, has lost shareholder stock prices in the past, and the reason why the company's so long-term sustainable is because they constantly rebound. And I think they've put their corporate headquarters on hold for 18 months, I believe, here in the city. I was told by the CFO that will be built. They're going to build a new headquarters. They're going to build a corporate headquarters in the city of Boston. It's like any company. I mean, companies go through ups and downs. The only thing different is that the fear of General Electric going out of business is not there. They've been around for so long, so they will rebound.
Well, and with regard to Amazon, where are you going to put them? I mean, Councillor Jackson pointed out the amount of space they're looking for, the square footage, would take up the entire seaport.
Yeah, Councillor Jackson's plan on economic development is allowing pot shops to be on every neighborhood in the city of Boston. That's not sustainable. What's sustainable is attracting 50,000 jobs to Boston, it's attracting $4 billion of investment to Boston. Anybody who says that's a bad idea, then there's something, especially elected official, there's something wrong. Because we are a city based on real estate tax. 70% of our budget is due on real estate tax. So all of the programs that Councillor Jackson wants to do as a mayor, he talks about making investments in housing, making investments in education, making investments in all these different things. You need revenue for that. And the way you get revenue is by making sure companies like Amazon that are looking to move an East Coast headquarters somewhere in the East Coast, that is located in the city of Boston.
So where are you going to put them?
We're looking at different proposals now, and I'm not going to talk about it right now on TV because this is a bid that we're competing other places, so we'll put it together.
All right, well, you're talking about the need for revenue.
Yeah.
You need more revenue, right?
We love revenue. Revenue's very, when we say we need revenue, it's always good to have revenue. I mean, I think if we came up with additional, say, $25 million a year or $40 million a year, I think one of the things that we'd look at is continue to pay down our debt on our pension liability. I think we'd continue to build a rainy day fund to make sure that in the case of a bad economy, and I think we have some major infrastructure issues that we have to deal with. We have a couple bridges that need replacing. I mean, people talk about Long Island. I'd love to be able to replace Long Island Bridge. If I had an extra $100 million, we could do that. We could do Northern Ave Bridge and North Washington Street Bridge and get a lot of infrastructure done around the city as well.
Well, you just pointed out that so much the preponderance of our revenue comes from real estate taxes.
Which is too much.
What about Proposition 2.5? You want to look at increasing that for both commercial or residential?
Yeah, but we are too heavily reliant on our residential. I think when you look at a place like New York or Chicago, New York has an income tax that they can keep with their employees in the city of New York. Chicago has a sales tax in Chicago that's higher than the rest of the state. I mean, we don't have that ability in the city of Boston to raise those taxes.
Would you like to have that?
I'd like to have the potential to do it. I don't think we don't have to do it today. I mean, I don't need to raise taxes today. It's something that's the last thing we want to do. But I'd like to diversify. I'd like to be able to give our homeowners some relief in their property tax by finding another source of revenue.
What do you like better, the Chicago-style sales tax or the New York-style income tax?
Both. I mean, I think if you have the option for both. I'm not talking you raise the income tax in Boston to 10%. I'm saying just that option because I think that, we spend a lot of time taxing the people who own property in the city of Boston. I like to see some of the folks that come in. We have 22 million people that come into Boston every year for tourism. I would love to be able to try and capture some of the taxation in the tourism area.
Well, Mayor, the preliminary election is September 26th. Voters will narrow the field to 2. Yeah. If they want to find out more about you and your campaign, how can they do it?
MartyWalsh.org. You can go to our website. We're all over the place. And we're coming to you. We've knocked a lot of doors, and we have made a lot of phone calls. So over the next couple of days, I ask everyone to be patient. I know you might be frustrated that a volunteer or somebody's going to show up at your door or phone calls, that we're not taking anything for granted.
Councillor Jackson the other day was here, and he was saying he'd look forward to debating you here should the two of you make the final. Are you up for that, too?
Well, let's see what happens on the 26th. We got to make the final first.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Good luck. Boston Mayor Marty Walsh, that's it for me. Now it's back over to my colleagues for more WBZ News.